Hello students, today we will start chapter number 13, magnetic effects of electric current. Students, electric current is showing heating effect, that is when current flows from a conductor, heat produces. Also it shows chemical effect of electric current. We can see it in electroplating. The heating effect of electric current, that is when current flows from a conductor, heat produces. In some electric devices we can use this heat such as iron, heater, geyser, etc. And in some devices heat produced cannot be utilized, for example fan, charger, bulb, tube light. Like heating effect of electric current and chemical effect of electric current, there is also magnetic effect of electric current, and it is very helpful for us. Magnetic effect of electric current means when current flows through a conductor, the current carrying wire behaves like a magnet. So whenever current is flowing through a conductor, the magnetism or magnetic property develops in that current carrying conductor or wire, and that is known as magnetic effect of electric current. Many devices which we use in our daily life are based on magnetic effect of electric current. All devices which are having electric motor in it are based on this magnetic effect of electric current. So in this lesson we will learn about magnetic field lines, force on current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, and domestic electric circuit. So let's start with what is magnet. See, magnet is a piece of magnetic material occurring naturally or made artificially by magnetizing iron or steel, which attract pieces of magnetic substances such as iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. So magnet means what? It is a material which is having property to attract certain things like iron, nickel or cobalt. Magnets are of two types, permanent magnet and temporary magnet. And magnets may be natural magnet or artificial magnet. See, permanent magnets are the magnets which can retain their magnetism. Magnetism means what? It is the property of magnet producing attraction or repulsion under certain condition. So these magnet or magnetic substances are having property that they can attract some magnetic substances. So the magnet is having property of magnetism, and there are two types of magnet, permanent magnet and temporary magnet. Temporary magnet retains their magnetism only for short period of time until kept under an external magnetic field. And permanent magnet is a magnet which retain the magnetism for long time. So the permanent magnet can retain its property of magnetism for longer period of time, and temporary magnet can lose its property of magnetism. See, the magnetite or the lodestone is the natural permanent magnet. It is a naturally occurring permanent magnet known as magnetite. Temporary magnets retain their magnetism only for short period of time. For example, when iron pin is attached with a bar magnet, that iron pin can attract other iron pins also. That means what? The magnetism comes in the iron pin through the bar magnet. But when we remove that bar magnet, that iron pin will lose its property, will lose its magnetism and cannot attract other iron pins. So such magnets are known as temporary magnets. Magnets are dipole. That means it has two poles, north pole and south pole. And as we know, there is always attraction in the opposite poles and repulsion in the like poles. So magnet is having two poles, north pole and south pole, and there will be attraction between north and south pole and repulsion between north and south pole. this is about magnet and properties of magnet. Now see magnetic effect of electric current. Magnetic effect of electric current means what? When an electric current flowing in a conducting wire, it produces magnetic field around it, or that wire acts as a magnet. To study this, we will see activity 13.1. But before that, let's discuss about the compass. What is a compass? See, compass is a device which is used for navigation to find the direction. This compass consists of a tiny magnet, usually in the form of pointer. So you might have observed the compass which is having pointer or needle in it, and that needle can rotate freely in a horizontal plane. That needle is nothing but the tiny magnet. We called it as a magnetic needle, and it is a small bar magnet. The ends of the compass needle point approximately towards the geographic north and south direction. So the points of that needle, ends of that needle, always point toward the north direction and south direction. But in fact, if we consider, see, our earth is also a big bar magnet. It is a giant bar magnet, and as we know, there is attraction between opposite poles and repulsion between like poles. So the needle of the compass point towards the magnetic south and the north direction of earth. So whenever the needle is pointing towards the north direction, that is actually magnetic south of the earth, and if the needle is pointing, another point of the needle, end of the needle is pointing towards the south direction, that is actually the magnetic north of the earth, as our earth behaves like a giant bar magnet. The tip of the needle pointing towards the north is called north seeking or north pole, and its tail, that is the other end pointing towards the south, is called south seeking or south pole. So this is about compass. Now see activity 13.1. In this activity, what we have to do? We have to take a straight thick copper wire and place it between point X and Y in an electric circuit as shown in figure. Wire XY is kept perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Horizontally place a small compass near this copper wire. So we have to place a compass near to the copper wire. Now see the position of needle. If you will observe, the compass needle remains stationary in the geographic north and south direction of the earth. So compass needle or bar magnet, if we suspend it, if we left it as it is, it always align itself to the north and south direction. So needle will point to the north and south direction of the earth. Now pass the current through the circuit by inserting the key into the plug. Observe the change in the position of compass needle. What does it indicate? See, on passing the current through copper wire, you will observe compass needle is deflected, or the deflection in compass needle will be observed. This indicates that the electric current through copper wire has produced magnetic effect, because the needle is nothing but the bar magnet or a magnet, and as current passes, that magnet deflects. That means there is magnetism, there is magnetic field. It means that magnetic field is produced around the copper wire when current is passed through the conductor through the copper wire. So from this activity we can conclude that magnetic field is produced due to electric current, and thus we can say that electricity and magnetism are linked to each other. What is electricity? Electricity is the flow of charge, and it is a form of energy. Magnetism is what? Property of magnet producing power of attraction under certain conditions. As I told, there are many devices which are based on this magnetic effect of electric current, such as electromagnet, electric motor, all these. Now we will discuss about magnetic field and field lines. Up to this we come to know that magnetic needle or a compass needle is a small bar magnet which is having north pole and south pole. And when a compass is brought near a bar magnet, compass needle gets deflected due to the forces acting on its pole due to the magnetic field of a bar magnet. See, the needle get deflects because of the force, magnetic force it get exert on the needle. As we know, a force of repulsion acts between like poles, that is north north south south pole of the magnets, while the force of attraction acts between unlike pole, that is north south and south north pole of the two magnets. So whenever a needle of compass is placed near to the bar magnet, magnetic force is exerted on that needle, and that's why we can see the deflection. Now see activity 13.2. This is to understand magnetic field produced by a bar magnet. Fix a sheet of white paper on a drawing board using some adhesive material. Place a bar magnet in the center of the paper sheet. Sprinkle some iron fillings uniformly around the bar magnet as shown in figure. Now tap the board gently. What do you observe? See, when you will sprinkle iron fillings, the iron fillings arrange themselves in a pattern as shown in figure 13.2. The bar magnet exerts its influence in the region surrounding it. Therefore, iron fillings experience the magnetic force. This force makes iron filling arrange in a specific pattern. We can see that all the iron fillings arrange themselves in a pattern. We can see in figure 13.2. This happens because the force is exerted on the iron fillings and it gets arranged. The region surrounding a magnet in which the force of magnet can be detected is said to have magnetic field. So the iron fillings get arranged itself in a specific pattern because that bar magnet is having region surrounding it, and in that region the magnetic force of that magnet can be detected, and such region, such area around the magnet is called as magnetic field. So from this activity we can understand that a bar magnet possesses a magnetic field which can be detected by sprinkling iron fillings around it, and we can define magnetic field as the region surrounding a magnet in which the force of attraction and repulsion due to the magnet can be detected. This you can observe in your day-to-day life also. If you take a magnet and some iron pins, if you will take iron pins very close to the magnet, you can see the fluctuation in iron pins. Means the bar magnet will exert magnetic force on the iron pins, and iron pins will get attract towards the bar magnet. And if you will increase the distance between magnet and the iron pins, those pins will not get deflect, will not get attracted towards the magnet, because that magnet is having its field, or that magnet can exert its magnetic force up to a certain region only. Beyond a certain region the magnetic force cannot be act on the iron pins, and so it will not get attract towards the magnet. So magnetic field is what? It is the region surrounding a magnet in which the force of attraction can be experienced. That region is called as magnetic field. So each magnet is having particular strength or magnetic field. Next term is magnetic field lines. See, the lines along which iron fillings align themselves or arrange themselves due to force acting on them in a magnetic field of a bar magnet are called as magnetic field lines. Here you can see in figure 13.2 that the iron fillings are arranged in a specific patterns, and we can see the lines. In lines those are arranged. Such lines are called as magnetic field lines. And why these iron fillings are arranged in this pattern? Because of force acting on them. So the lines along which iron fillings are arranged is known as magnetic field lines. Now see, are there any other way of obtaining magnetic field lines around a bar magnet? Yes, you can yourself draw field lines of a bar magnet. We can take help of activity 13.3. In this activity, what we have to do, take small compass and a bar magnet, place magnet on a sheet of white paper fixed on a drawing board using some adhesive material, make boundary of the magnet, place the compass near the north pole of magnet. How does it behave? We know there is attraction between the unlike poles and repulsion between the like pole. The south pole of needle points towards the north pole of magnet, and the north pole of compass is directed away from the north pole of magnet. So if you will take north pole of the needle close to the north pole of bar magnet, it will get repelled and it will point in the opposite direction. Mark the position of two ends of the needle. Now move the needle to a new position such that its south pole occupies the position previously occupied by its north pole. In this way, proceed step by step till you reach to the south pole of the magnet as shown in figure 13.3. So you will get magnetic field lines with the help of compass without using iron fillings. Join the points marked on the paper by a smooth curve, and this is a field line. Repeat the above procedure and draw as many lines as you can, and you will get pattern like figure 13.4. These lines represent magnetic field around the bar magnet. These are known as magnetic field lines. Observe the deflection in the compass needle as you move it along a field line. The deflection increases as needle is moved towards the poles. So when you will move towards the pole, you will find more fluctuation in the magnetic needle. From this, we can say that magnetic field is a quantity that has both direction and magnitude. The direction of magnetic field is taken to the direction in which north pole of compass needle moves inside it. So the direction of magnetic field is considered as the direction of north pole. Therefore, the field lines emerge from north pole and merge at the south pole. So the magnetic field lines emerge from north pole and merge at the south pole of the magnet, but inside the magnet, we can see in the diagram also, the direction of magnetic field line is from south pole to the north pole, and thus magnetic field lines are closed curve. So from this activity, we can say that the region surrounding a magnet has magnetic field, that is a bar magnet possesses magnetic field. The direction of magnetic field is the direction in which north pole of compass needle moves or deflect. The field is stronger where the field lines are crowded and weaker where the field lines are further away from each other. We can see in this diagram the magnetic field lines are crowded near the pole, and as the distance between bar magnet is increased, the field lines are weaker. Why? Because of magnetic field. Magnetic field is strong at the poles, and also the as distance increases, the magnetic field become weak, and after certain region there will be no magnetic force. So magnetic field lines are strong or crowded at the poles and weaker where the field lines are farther away from each other. The deflection of the needle increases as needle is moved towards the pole, because here strong magnetic field is present, strong magnetic force is present. Magnetic field is having both magnitude and direction. So it is a vector quantity as it has both direction and magnitude. The direction of magnetic field at a point is determined by placing compass needle. So always remember, the direction of magnetic field can be found out with the help of compass needle. the direction of magnetic field is the direction in which north pole of compass needle moves inside it. Now we will see the characteristics of magnetic field lines which we observe from all these two activities. See, the magnetic field lines emerge from north pole and merge at south pole outside the magnet. While inside the magnet, the direction of field line is from south pole to the north pole, and by that it forms a closed curve. So, second property of magnetic field line is what? The magnetic field lines are crowded near the pole where the magnetic field is strong and are far apart near the middle of magnet and far from the magnet where the magnetic field is weak. So, that the magnetic field lines are crowded. We can see in the diagram also. Magnetic field lines are crowded near the poles where there is a strong magnetic field, and as the distance increases from the magnet, the magnetic field lines are far from each other. It shows the weak magnetic field. The magnetic field lines never intersect each other because if they do so, there would be two directions of magnetic field at that point, and which is not possible. So, two lines or two magnetic field lines never intersect with each other, because if it intersect, it means there are two directions, and which is not possible. In case the field lines are parallel and equidistant, this represents the uniform magnetic field. If there are parallel and equidistant magnetic field lines, that means there is uniform magnetic field is present. We can see this inside the bar magnet, or whenever we can observe the parallel and equidistant magnetic field lines, that means there is uniform magnetic field present. And the strength of magnetic field can be observed by the degree of closeness of field lines. If the field lines are very close, crowded, that means strong magnetic field. If those are far from each other, that means weak magnetic field. So, this is all about magnetic field and magnetic field lines.
Now, we will discuss about force on current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. We know that an electric current flowing through a conductor produces magnetic field around it. This magnetic field exerts a force on a magnet placed in the vicinity of conductor. So, when we place compass near to the conductor, we can see the deflection due to the force exerted on the magnet. And so, magnetic needle shows fluctuation when placed near the current carrying conductor. Oersted discovered that a current carrying conductor exerts force on a compass needle, that is, that small bar magnet which is placed in the compass and which is placed near to the conductor. Andre Marie Ampere also suggested that the reverse of it should also be true, that is, a magnet exerts an equal and opposite force on the current carrying conductor. In general, if a current carrying conductor is kept in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. Let's see this with the help of an experiment. See the activity 13.7 and setup in figure 13.12. In this setup, the aluminium rod is suspended horizontally from a stand and it is placed between the poles of strong horseshoe magnet. Also, the field is directed upwards, that is, from north pole to the south pole. Further, this rod is connected in series with the key and battery. Now plug the key and pass the current in the rod in the direction from B to A. What do we observe? We observe that rod has displaced towards the left. And now if we reverse the direction of current, the rod shifts to the right. So what caused the rod to move? See, the displacement of rod proves that when the current carrying conductor, that is aluminium rod, was kept in magnetic field, it experienced the force. Also, when we reverse the direction of current in circuit, the direction of force also get reverse. Therefore, we can say the direction of force is dependent on the direction of current flowing in the circuit. Now, let us reverse the direction of magnetic field and let the current be flowing from B to A only. We observe the aluminum rod shift to the right. This suggests that direction of force is also dependent on the direction of magnetic field. From the experiment, we can conclude that the direction of force experienced by current carrying conductor depends on first one, direction of current flowing in the conductor, and direction of magnetic field. Also, from various experiments which are performed by different scientists, they conclude that the magnitude of force experienced by current carrying conductor is maximum when the direction of magnetic field and current are perpendicular to each other. So, if the magnetic field, direction of magnetic field and current is perpendicular to each other. For example, this is the direction of magnetic field, we denote it by B, and current I. Then in this case, the force is maximum. And if the direction of current and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, then we can easily determine the direction of force by using Fleming's left hand rule. See, in this diagram you can see the Fleming left hand rule. What it states, according to the Fleming's left hand rule, stretch your thumb, index finger and middle finger in such way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. In this, the middle finger represents the direction of current, index finger represents direction of magnetic field, and thumb represents the direction of force acting on the conductor. So, with the help of Fleming's left hand rule, we can find out the direction of force acting on the conductor. For this, we have to stretch our index finger, middle finger and thumb in such way that they will be perpendicular to each other. We are using many devices which are based on current carrying conductors and magnetic fields, such as electric motor, electric generator, loudspeaker, microphones, measuring instrument, etc. Students, most of you have seen values like 220 volt AC input on electric devices, or you might have seen 5 volt DC output in case of mobile charger. But do you know what this number refers to? So now we will discuss about different types of currents and domestic electric circuit. These numbers on charger or different electric appliances refers to the potential difference across the input and output. Here AC and DC indicates the type of current. There are two types of currents. AC current stands for alternating current, where the direct current, that is DC current. AC current is the current where the direction of current changes periodically, which can be represented in this way. So this is AC current, that is alternating current, where the direction of current changes periodically. Electrical supply from powerhouses and electric generators are supplied in the form of AC current, while the current supplied by the batteries are direct or DC current. DC stands for direct current, and where the direction of current remains unchanged. We can see it is represented in this way. In our country, polarity of AC current changes 100 times every second. That is, frequency of AC alternating current is 50 Hz in India. Advantage of using AC is that it can be transmitted over a long distance with less loss of energy as compared to direct current. Also, conversion of AC current to DC current is very easy. It is possible even through our mobile chargers. Now we will see how this AC current is supplied in our houses. We already know what a current is. We also know about the resistors and how resistors can be connected in series and parallel. There are some benefits of parallel combination of the resistor over the series combination. Now let's see how these combination help us to power up our houses. In our home, we get supply of electric power from a main supply, also called as main, through the transmission wire supported through overhead electric poles. You can see in this diagram which shows the common domestic circuit. So we get electric supply from main supply or main fuse. One of the wire in supply is positive and insulated with red color, known as live wire. Another wire with the black insulation cover is called as neutral wire. So we can see in this diagram live wire, neutral wire. Potential difference between these two wires in our country is 220 volt, and potential difference of neutral wire is 0 volt. So the potential difference between these two wires is 220 volt. In our houses, these two wires are passed into electricity board through the main fuse. This wire supplies electricity to separate circuits in the house. We can see in this diagram there are different circuits and these wires are supplying current in the different circuit. Through the main switch, two circuits are used. One for 50 ampere current rating for the appliances with high power rating like geyser, ACs, refrigerators, and other is for 5 ampere current for low power rating appliances such as bulbs, fan, etc. As a safety measure to avoid electric shock, the appliances with metallic bodies like press, toaster, table fan, etc. are connected to earth wire which has an insulation of green color. That green color wire is known as earthing wire. The metallic body is connected to earth wire which provides a low resistance for the flow of current. It ensures that even after any current leakage, the metallic body of appliances keep its potential equal to the earth and user will not get severe electric shock. A number of separate circuits can be present between these live and neutral wire. Each circuit would be connecting different appliances. The advantage of connecting them in parallel is that every device could be provided with an equal potential difference and each one of these can have unique switch. So in case if there is damage of any one appliances, it will not affect the other appliances, or at a time we can use different appliances, and if we don't want any appliance we can switch off it separately without affecting other appliances. So this is the benefit of parallel combination over series combination. Electricity can be dangerous also. To make it safe, many safety precautions can be done. Electrical appliances are connected with the live wire. If any wear and tear happens or it gets cut, then leakage of current takes place. And if appliances has metallic body, then we might get electric shock. So earthing wire is connected to such appliances. One more precaution is fuse. If overloading or short circuit happens, then huge amount of current flows through the appliances. In this case, appliances can get damaged. To avoid this, fuse is used in electric circuit. Fuse is a small piece of wire which is made up of alloy of tin and lead. So fuse wire is made up of tin and lead alloy which has high resistance and low melting point. When large current flows through the fuse, lot of heat will be generated as it is having high resistance, and due to high heat and low melting point, the fuse wire will get melt and it will break the circuit. So it can avoid damage of appliances. As circuit will get break, the flow of current will stop and it can avoid the appliances from the damaged. Also, it can avoid short circuit. Students, you know about 3-pin plug. Out of 3 pins, one is long and thicker and rest 2 are small in size. The reason for this is thicker pin is connected to earth wire. This is to ensure that every time when you plug in or out, the earth pin is last pin which get connected to the socket. Due to this, leak current on the metallic surface of appliances flows through the earth pin into the earth, and rest 2 pins are for live and neutral wire. So this is all about domestic electric circuit. Hope you understood. Thank you and have a nice day.